Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Well, they're finna do it. Shout out to Carcino for Life. He called it out of anybody else. From ABC 10 News San Diego, states have authority to fine or jail people who refuse coronavirus vaccine, an attorney says. Legal precedent dates back to 1905. This is a story by Derek Stahl, posted at 5:50 p.m. August 7, 2020, and it was last updated 7:33 a.m. August 9, 2020. Now, San Diego KGTV, as drug makers race to develop a vaccine against the coronavirus, several legal questions are emerging. Could the government require people to get it? Could people who refuse to roll up their sleeves get banned from stores or lose their jobs? The short answer is yes. According to Dove Fox, a law professor and the director of the Center for Health Law Policy and Bioethics at the University of San Diego, states can compel vaccinations in more or less intrusive ways, he said in an interview. They can limit access to schools or services or jobs if people don't get vaccinated. They could force them to pay a fine or even lock them up in jail. Fox noted authorities in the United States have never attempted to jail people for refusing to vaccinate, but other countries like France have adopted the aggressive tactic. The legal precedent dates back to 1905. In a landmark U.S. Supreme Court case, Jacobson versus Massachusetts, the court ruled Massachusetts had the authority to fine people who refused vaccinations for smallpox. That case formed the legal basis for vaccine requirements at schools and has been upheld in subsequent decisions. Courts have found that when medical necessity requires it, the public health outweighs the individual rights and liberties at stake, Fox said. In 2019, New York City passed an ordinance that fined people who refused a measles vaccination. That said, recent protests over face coverings show there could be significant backlash to a vaccine mandate. Fox said just because states have the power to do it doesn't mean it's the best public policy, he added. Although states would have the authority to mandate vaccinations, there's more doubt about whether Congress could enact a federal requirement. The most likely federal vaccination requirement will come in the form of a tax penalty. But Fox said given the current composition of the Supreme Court, a federal vaccine requirement will likely be found unconstitutional. Opponents of a federal mandate would cite the Supreme Court's 2012 decision on the Affordable Care Act, Fox said. In that case, the justice ruled that Congress could not use its power to regulate interstate commerce to require people to buy health insurance, even though the ACA's individual mandate was ultimately upheld on separate grounds. That means the U.S. could have a patchwork of different vaccine requirements in different states. States that explore vaccine requirements should only do so if the vaccine is widely and readily available, Fox said. Otherwise, you create an underclass of people who are less safe and without access to the basic needs of society, he said. States would need to allow exemptions for people with legitimate medical risks like pregnancy, but not exemptions on religious or philosophical grounds, he said. Religious exemptions are not constitutionally required by the First Amendment's free exercise clause, provided that the vaccine mandates don't single out religion. They're not motivated by a desire to interfere with it, he said. In the workplace, private employers would have a lot of flexibility to require vaccinations and fire workers who refuse them for anything but legitimate medical concerns. As long as employers show there are significant costs associated with having unvaccinated workers, they would not need to offer religious exemptions to employees, Fox said. Under the 1964 Civil Rights Act, employers are not required to accommodate religious employees if doing so will pose more than a de minimis or minimal cost. Well, if you're listening to this, please go subscribe to Carcino for Life, his Screen Fiend, and his One Crack News. He has been saying this for a year now, I believe, or 3 or 4 months. They are going to force you to take the vaccination when the vaccination, they've been using it to test on people in Africa who don't have it, use them as guinea pigs, and they're basically going to give it to us. Some people are saying the vaccination is basically a thing filled with something that's able to track you to where you're going. And, I don't get that deep into it. But what do you think? Do you think this is right, that they have the right to force you to do this, holding your kids can't go to school and holding that you can't go to work? This here is going to be a thing that is called control, that they're going to that they're going to exemplify with an iron fist, making you go out, take this vaccination. Now, if the vaccination messes you up, who cares, right? They're still eating at the end of the day. This is about money, okay? It's about money. Like my boy Kennedy said the most smartest thing I've heard, that who makes the most money off the vaccination? The pharmaceutical companies, and all of these people out here who has their hands in the pot. I just did a story on this about people making who's getting stocks and bonds from the vaccination. Even if the vaccination don't work, they're still getting paid multi-million, almost billions of dollars. Companies getting that wage. They're getting that money sent to them. So to me, this is again some BS. And this is going to have a lot of people having to take the vaccine. I really don't believe in this vaccine. I believe this vaccine is going to do something to everybody, and it's going to hurt us one way or another. Look at the smallpox and the measles. They basically giving you the smallpox. So in this case, they're going to give you the COVID so you can fight the COVID. Now, what if it goes bad? Then what? They're going to come up with an excuse saying, well, we had this amount of people make it. And I still don't believe all these people have the COVID. I believe they're trying to make it that way with the numbers so they can have this vaccination, because this vaccination is worth billions of dollars. If it's put out on the open market, people who are in the pharmaceutical companies and in the medical fields, they will get paid huge money. The bosses, the people who you don't see, they will get all this money. So to me, they're trying to say if you have a hurt leg that you got the COVID. You have a hurt shoulder, it's COVID related. That's why they usually say when somebody died, yeah, he died from having a bad heart, but it also could be related to COVID. So they can bump those numbers up so they have the right to give you the vaccination. Then once they give you the vaccination, they make their money. Come on, we got to put A, B, C, and D together. We got to wake up, people. We have got to fight this. We have got to find a way to go against this, but it's going to be hard because everybody right now their attention is somewhere else. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is right that the government is going to do this, to force you to have to do it, or you lose your job and you have to do it, your kids have to do it, or they can't be let back in school? What would this vaccine do to the kids? That's what I want to know. Will it make them better, or will it hurt them? Long-term damage? This is what people aren't asking. That's why I keep telling you, stop saluting that damn flag. America ain't it. It ain't nothing but BS. It ain't nothing but a dictatorship. They're making it, and they're forcing us to do something we don't want to. Now, thank you for listening. I don't want to be too long on this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Once you click the notification bell, please select all and let everyone know about this video. Your auntie, your mama, your grandmama, your brother, your uncle, auntie. Let everybody know this is what's going to happen. This is serious. This video may not get out to nobody because I've only been doing this for a year, so I'm still not on that level. So nobody really is going to see it. But if you have a chance to see it, please, please, people, please let people know. All right. Thank you for listening, and we're out. Live, boy.